I'm going to go through the Democratic debate from last night, and I'm going to critique both sides. Think Bernie Sanders basically was more honest than Clinton, but I think Clinton got in some excellent shots, and Bernie did not take advantage of some obvious openings that he had. And be honest with you, he seems less comfortable speaking directly to African American issues. He pivots too much to the economic side. So in that particular spot, Clinton really does have him. But his answers as far as economics and everything else appear to me to be more genuine. And then there's the issue with the transcripts, and she just will not put that to bed. She needs to release the damn transcripts and call it a day. And then she has obviously gotten a break on this email thing because he's chosen not to attack her. But anyway, the first section of the debate had to do with statements regarding the Clinton water system and the failure of both state and federal government to get in here and number one, protect the people, but then after the damage has been done, to jump in here with a solution, which is putting money in there so that all of the lead pipes can be replaced. So anyway, here we go with the first section of the debate.
Nearly 2 years, lead leaked into the water used in people's homes. Now, for much of that time, the state downplayed the danger, even in the face of growing complaints and physical evidence. For 100 days, the federal government knew about it, and yet, in all that time, nobody told the people of Flint. They bathed in the water, they drank it, and so did their kids. Even today, lead is still present in some of the water. Tonight, the Democratic candidates are here to answer questions about what they would do for Flint, as well as about other issues facing the country right now. Each candidate has 1 minute for an opening statement. Senator Sanders is first. We begin with him. Senator Sanders.
Anderson, thank you very much. Over the last several weeks, I had the opportunity to meet with a number of residents of Flint at a town meeting in Flint, and I have to tell you, what I heard and what I saw literally shattered me, and it was beyond belief that children in Flint, Michigan, in the United States of America in the year 2016 are being poisoned. That is clearly not what this country should be about. As Anderson indicated, there's a lot of blame to go around. And one of the points that I have made is that I believe the governor of this state should understand that his dereliction of duty was irresponsible. He should resign. But more importantly, what is happening in Flint to a lesser degree is happening throughout this country. In recent years, we have seen a proliferation of millionaires and billionaires, an increase in income and wealth inequality, and all over this country. Middle-class families are struggling, cities and towns are struggling in order to provide basic services. Among many other things, we need to rebuild our crumbling infrastructure, our water systems, our wastewater plants, our roads, and our bridges. The wealthiest country in the history of the world has got to get its priorities right, take care of the people, no more tax breaks for billionaires.
Thank you, Senator.
Now, this is going to be my main criticism on Bernie. He keeps circling back to millionaires and billionaires in Wall Street. Right now, he's in Flint, Michigan. What his game plan should have been was to surround every answer with Flint and Flint's individual problems and then expand them out a little, but don't just keep jumping automatically back to economic issues. Now, here comes Hillary Clinton with her response.
Secretary Clinton?
Well, I'll start by saying amen to that. We are here in Flint. I'm very grateful that my request that we hold this debate be held here so we can continue to shine a very bright spotlight on what has happened in this city.
Now, she just got brownie points for that one with the people in Flint and probably the people in Detroit. So obviously an excellent move if it was in fact her suggestion that they hold this debate in Flint.
I agree. The governor should resign or be recalled, and we should
That's a new position for her.
support the efforts of citizens attempting to achieve that. But that is not enough. We have to focus on what must be done to help the people of Flint. I support 100% the efforts by your senators and members of Congress to get the money from the federal government in order to begin the work that must occur to fix the infrastructure. The state should also be sending money immediately to help this city.
More brownie points. She's focusing on the solution, which is get the money in there to fix the problem.
I know the state of Michigan has a rainy day fund for emergencies. What is more important than the health and well-being of the people, particularly children? It is raining lead in Flint, and the state is derelict in not coming forward with the money that is required.
Secretary Clinton?
So on that opening exchange, okay, and just so that you know, I'm a Bernie fan, but she won that one, hands down, especially with the rainy day fund and it's raining lead in Flint.
And we'll get to what we need to do to help the children and the people when I have a little more time, because that's just as important as fixing the pipes.
We're going to have a lot of time for that. We want to begin tonight with the people of Flint themselves. This is Mickey Wade. She's a public housing program manager and the mother of 2 kids. She says she's currently undecided and has a question that both of you will be able to weigh in on. Ms. Wade?
The water has impacted our lives in such a way that living comfortably in our home isn't the same anymore. The constant drives to pick up water just so my children can wash their hair, to wash our fruits and vegetables, and to brush our teeth is incredibly difficult. Once the pipes are replaced, I'm not for sure if I will be comfortable ever drinking the water. If elected president, what course will you take to regain my trust in the government?
Secretary Clinton, we'll begin with you.
Well, Nikki, it's a very fair question because your government at all levels have let you and your children and the people of Flint down. So I think there are several things. All the repair work that is being done, and Mayor Weaver announced a program that we support to begin to help train people in Flint to be able to do some of this work, to distribute the water. Everything that is done has to be triple checked to regain your trust and to hold those who are responsible for fixing the pipes and delivering the clean water, which, as you said, you bathe in it, you drink it, you wash food in it, you do everything with it. Every one of us should have to just run through in our minds how we use water every single day to understand the pressures and the real pain that families are going through. So I will make sure as president that I double and triple check. I will work with elected officials who I trust, like your mayor, like your senators, like your member of Congress, so that we can assure you that when it's fixed, you can trust it. You deserve nothing less.
Secretary Clinton, let me follow up with you on that. The people here, they still can't drink the water in their own homes, as you well know. They can't bathe their kids in the water here, and they are desperate for accountability and specifics. As president, can you give any specific about what you could do if you were president right now that would make Ms. Wade's life better and life better for people here?
Well, I support what President Obama is doing. He called for and got accountability from officials at the EPA who should have done more to make sure the state was doing its job. He has expanded Medicaid to begin the process of helping kids particularly get the health care they need. He's also ordered that there be a Head Start program. I support that. When it comes to the water itself, we are supporting a program that Mayor Weaver announced today, Flint Water Works, to actually pay people in Flint, not outsiders, people here, to deliver the water while we're fixing the pipes. And I would do even more of that. As president, you know, what we were able to put together was a beginning. As president, I would concentrate resources on this city for economic development, for more jobs, as we fix the water and provide the health and education interventions that children need.
Senators.
All good answers. The Flint water questions are softball questions basically to the Democrats because everybody's going to be on the same page on this one. But she basically, you know, she did okay. She covered her bases on it, and she actually did, in fact, you know, answer the question.
Senators for Ms. Wade specific.
What is going on is a disgrace beyond belief. As President of the United States, this is what I would do. Because if local government does not have the resources, if state government, for whatever reason, refuses to act, children in America should not be poisoned. Federal government comes in, federal government acts. What is absolutely incredible to me is that water rates have soared in Flint. You are paying 3 times more for poisoned water than I'm paying in Burlington, Vermont for clean water. First thing you do is you say people are not paying a water bill for poisoned water. And that is retroactive. Second of all, to ease anxiety, CDC has got to come in here and examine every child and adult in this community in terms of the amount of lead they may have. Thirdly, in the wealthiest country in the history of the world, we have got to rebuild our crumbling infrastructure, our water systems. I've got a bill for $1 trillion, creates 13 million jobs, rebuilding Flint, Michigan, and communities all over this country.
Thank you, Senator.
Okay. Bernie hit his stride on that one. I give him higher marks than Clinton because he came in there again with specifics, and he did keep it focused on Flint, and then added the rest of the country behind it. But he focused on Flint, so that was a good deal, and I give him a higher grade than Clinton, though Clinton's was pretty good as well.
We're going to have more on infrastructure shortly, but I want to follow up with you. This crisis in Flint, as you know, as everybody in this room knows, was created by the government. Your policies are about expanding government. Why should people from Flint trust that more government is the answer?
Well, that's a good point, Anderson. I suppose they can trust the corporations who have destroyed Flint by a disastrous trade policy, which have allowed them to shut down plants in Flint and move to China and Mexico. We can trust them, I'm sure. Or maybe, you know, maybe Anderson, tell you what, maybe we should let Wall Street come in and run the city of Flint. Because we know their honesty and integrity has done so much for the American people. Look, we live in a democracy, and I'm not the last person to deny the government is failing in many respects. But at the end of the day, I will trust the people to create a government that works for them rather than Wall Street or corporate America.
Okay, that was pretty good. Good use of sarcasm by Bernie. Now let's see what Secretary Clinton comes up with.
Secretary Clinton, you've now both called for the governor to resign. I believe that's new for you. Previously, you had not called for that, but you're calling for that tonight. It's easy to blame the Republican governor, Rick Snyder, but the federal government also dropped the ball here. According to Section 1414 of the Safe Drinking Water Act, the EPA has to step in and take action when a state is informed about water problems and doesn't do anything for 30 days, as the state here didn't do. The EPA knew for months and months, never warned the people of Flint not to drink the water. As president, would you fire the head of the EPA?
Well, I think that the people here in the region who knew about this and failed to follow what you just said rightly, the law required, have been eliminated from the EPA.
So far, one person has resigned.
Well, I don't know how high it goes. I would certainly be launching an investigation. I think there is one.
Right.
I was told that, you know, some of the higher-ups were pushing to get changes that were not happening. So I would have a full investigation, determine who knew what when, and yes, people should be fired. How far up it went, I don't know. But as far as it goes, they should be relieved because they failed this city. But let me just add this, Anderson. This is not the only place where this kind of action is needed. We have a lot of communities right now in our country where the level of toxins in the water, including lead, are way above what anybody should tolerate. We have a higher rate of tested lead in people in Cleveland than in Flint. So I'm not satisfied with just doing everything we must do for Flint. I want to tackle this problem across the board. And if people know about it and they're not acting and they're in the government at any level, they should be forced to resign.
Senator Sanders, would President Sanders fire the head of the EPA?
President Sanders would fire anybody who knew about what was happening and did not act appropriately. And President Sanders would make the point that how does it happen in the wealthiest country in the history of the world? What are our priorities when, among others, Republicans today are fighting for hundreds of billions of dollars in tax breaks for the wealthiest people? How did we have so much money available to go to war in Iraq and spend trillions of dollars, but somehow not have enough money, not just for Flint? Secretary is right. There are communities all over this country. It's not just infrastructure, it is education. Detroit's public school system is collapsing.
Thank you, Senator.
All right, now I give that round to Bernie, okay, but now remember the statement he made about trillions of dollars to fight wars. All right, just remember that point, because and this is going to be multiple videos, but there's going to be a point where he absolutely should have used it again and didn't. But just to be clear, he was emphatic about the fact that anybody who had had their fingerprints on this situation in the EPA absolutely should be fired.